This paper wants to clarify the signification of the imagined geography of India, a landscape constructed of pilgrimage places and religious networks that have served to create a complex sense of several places all around the country. Religious myths take place in the culturally created mental map of India. The symbolic language between nature and human beings contributes to the shaping of this imagined landscape. I here wonder how, in this intricate interrelationship of religious myth and landscape, the religious impact can be used to develop ecological programs. As religious myths are so important, why religious leaders avoid connecting the power they get in Indian society and other political leaders to combat river pollution. In ancient Hindu mythology, water is described as the foundation of the whole world, the basis for life, and the liquid of immortality. Mircea Eliade, a Romanian historian of religion, talks about the symbolism of sanctity of water. For him, water is bringing well-being, quality of life, and purity. The aim of this paper is to provide an understanding between Hindu religion, attachment to the sacred places, and the ecological negligence Indian people show for these places they called sacred. Symbolically, the religious vision of the world does not take into account the environmental imperatives, and this is part of the reasons why this distance exists between religious and political leaders on this topic. We are dealing here with a paradoxal complexity between terms and symbolics. Purity, pollution. How can we say that the waters of Ganges, which give purity to the devotees, could be polluted? While in Hindu beliefs water is a container of life, strength, and eternity, according to Eliade, how can one let it become a container of death? In India, the cult of water is ancient, already described in the Vedic and Puranic literature, around 1000 BCE. The flowing waters of the rivers wash away all sins. Devotees give them a power of holiness. They believe that they can bestow sanctity and miracles. From there, a strong interrelationship was created between water, river, and human beings. All pilgrimages and rituals prove that. For that reason, many places along the river became sacred places called tirthas. In this paper, the choice of the Ganges among all Indian rivers has obvious reasons. It is one of the most notable geographical dominant in the political history of the country. It has been an important element in religious, social, cultural, and linguistic wealth of India. It is said that Ganga is embodying the most prominent and purifying liquid power, according to Rana Singh. I will here take the example of Bengal, because there Ganges invests literature, culture, and religion. There, from the birth to the death, Ganges plays a prominent role in the religious observances of people. We can find many examples witnessing the importance of the holy water for Hindus and the place it gets in their daily life. For example, in the morning, during the first worship, as well as during the last one in the evening, a glass of Ganga water may be offered to the gods, and some drops of the water can be thrown in the corner of every room of the house. When they go to temple, devotees could bath in the Ganges before entering the worship place. Likewise, an unmarried woman must bath into Ganga's water to obtain a good husband. During weddings, women perform a folk dance called Gangavatarana, means the descent of Ganga. The movements are free, but the motion of hands describes Ganga descent on earth. The birth of a child brings it several sacraments that include immersion of the new mother and the new baby in the Ganges. For initiation of studenthood, a young boy would go to the river before sunrise and perform some rituals. Every evening, Arti, prayer with fire is done on the bank of the river to pay homage to the goddess Ganga. But throughout the long course of the Ganges in India, the intensity and the shapes of the belief differ. However, all Hindus share the common wish to die near the river and then to put their ashes into the Ganges. Thousands of people spend the last day of their life on the bank of the river. You can see here a prayer to Ganga that illustrates my paper. And I now will talk about the goddess Ganga. The spiritual attachment to Ganges River and maintenance of cultural traditions reflect the realization of a divine manifestation. The Ganges is revered and worshipped as Mother Ganga, Ganga Mata. The story of the goddess Ganga is mentioned in many sacred texts of Hinduism like Vedas, Puranas, and epics Mahabharata and Ramayana. It is said that the history of Ganga is as old as the Indian civilization itself. In fact, there are several narratives about the descent of goddess Ganga on earth. The most told is the one of the king Sagara. The king had 2 wives. After worshipping gods to get sons, he got with the first one, Kesini, 1 son. With the second, Sumati, he got 60,000 sons. One day, after the only child of Kesini stole a sacrificial horse, the king was obliged to sacrifice in return his 60,000 sons, and so he saw them burn and become ashes. King Sagara took suggestions from many saints regarding to the salvation of the souls of his sons. The sage Kapila finally told him that only one goddess could help him, Ganga. So, to make her come to earth, he should invoke Brahma, the god of creation. Thus Brahma ordered Ganga to descend on earth. The goddess got very furious, as she felt this as an insult. She so decided to destroy earth when descending from heaven. In order to stop this destruction, Kapila invoked Lord Shiva, the only one able to support the power of Ganga. Shiva accepted and received Ganga in his locks during her descent on earth. Shiva's ties was so strong that the goddess' power weakens. But she still wanted to go to earth. So Shiva agreed and gave her the shape of a river for she can stay there and her energy to be channeled. Another story is about a Sanskrit text called Gautami Mahatmya. This is a narrative about 7 chapters and more than 400 verses, counting the Ganga's birth. According to this version, the gods wanted Shiva married Parvati, the daughter of Himalaya. They so sent Kama, the god of love, to shoot Shiva with his arrow. Thus, Shiva agreed to marry Parvati. But somewhere else, on the same time, a demon, the king Bali, got enough power to chase Indra, the king of gods, from heaven. That scared the gods a lot. So, they called Vishnu for help. Vishnu took the appearance of Vamana, a Brahman dwarf, in order to meet Bali on earth. Vishnu asked the demon to grant him 3 steps of land of his kingdom. Bali agreed. Whereupon Vishnu grew gigantic. With his first step, he covered the whole earth. With the second, he covered the world of Brahma, that is heaven. And with the third, Vishnu pushed Bali in the underworld. I come back with the second step. When the foot of Vishnu appeared in heaven, Brahma greeted him with a traditional gesture of hospitality, pouring water from his holy pot on the foot of Vishnu. This water dropped from Vishnu's foot into Mount Meru. From there, it flowed off in 4 cardinal directions. The southern stream fell on Shiva's locks of hair. Parvati became very jealous of this water that had taken the shape of a beautiful woman light on Shiva's hair. She asked a Saint Brahman Gautama to sing songs to praise Shiva. Shiva gave one of his locks to Gautama, who placed it on Brahmagiri, where the water began to flow. This story is in fact a mix of stories fragments found in Vedic, Puranic, epic and oral versions. It is interesting because it gives all the 3 gods of the Hindu trinity a role in the birth and the descent of Ganga to earth. By the time the river reaches earth, it can be said to have come from Brahma, from Vishnu, from Shiva, or from all 3. The Mahatmya calls the river Tridaivatya, derived from all 3 gods. In one point or another, this myth about Ganga coming to earth gives the river divine origins by her association with the gods of the Hindu trinity. Thus, the direct contact with these gods purifies Ganga before her arrival on earth and makes her a sacred river. The myth made clear for Hindus that the earthly Ganga is only a limited part of the cosmic river flowing in heaven. Ganga has a cosmic dimension that locates the source in a divine sphere. Let's talk now about Ganga as a sacred river. Ganga is a river formed by the confluence of 2 smaller rivers, Bhagirathi and Alaknanda. After gorging a distance of 220 kilometers in Himalayas, it enters the plain of Haridwar, and after meandering over a distance of 2,290 kilometers in the plain, crossing the states of Uttar Pradesh, Bihar and West Bengal, it joins the Bay of Bengal through a large number of branches flowing India and Bangladesh. The mythology of Hindu tradition and the sacred typography of the land of India always go together. Ganga is both goddess and river. She is revered as a mother, Ganga Mata. Ganga is said to be the supreme river among all rivers. It is in India the archetype of sacred waters. Even Nehru, Prime Minister of India from August 1947 to May 1964, who considered himself a secular man, denied that Ganga had any religious significances, but he wanted his ashes to be thrown into Ganga's water. This shows the cultural impact of Hindu mythology on Indian people. In Hinduism, the complete universe is imagined as a living organism, a vast ecosystem in which each part is inextricably related to the life of the whole. And the whole is alive and in a constant process and movement, growing and decaying. The cosmos is a biological whole, so, on the microcosmic level, the land of India is pictured as an organic whole, a full sacred geography. Thus, India is a living land, and the religious literature is full of sacred places. Even the forests, the rivers, the mountains are sacred. These places have been affirmed to have strong connections with the cosmos. They are called tirthas, means crossing places. Geographical sacrality in the Hindu tradition is also expressed in the reverence shown to almost every river in the Indian subcontinent. This reverence comes from the Rig Veda, one of the Hindu religious texts. There, it is written that earthly rivers have their origin in heaven. According to this text, an earthly river is a continuation of divine water that flows from heaven to earth. In Riviga cosmology, the creation of the world or the process of making the world habitable, is associated with the creation of heavenly water by Indra, the king of gods. So just a small story about Indra. Indra had an enemy, Vrata. He is said to have withheld these waters, preventing them from going to feed the earth, thus stopping all creation. But when Indra defeated Vrata, the waters rush into the earth. The rivers are therefore seen as necessary to creation and as having a heavenly origin. Another important theme, according to the river in Hinduism, is the purifier quality of the running waters. The Hindu social system is based on a purity scale, in which pollution is inevitably accumulated in the course of a normal life. It requires ritual bath to wash away impurity. For Hindus, running waters are chief agents of purification. They absorbed pollution. For these reasons, as goddess, they are never sleeping and always running. However, the Ganges is one of the most polluted rivers in the world. The discharge of domestic and industrial wastewater have greatly affected the quality of Ganges water, and now it falls under the category E. This affects the health of human beings, but prevents also the reproduction of the underwater life. A study showed that in India, 75% of human waste ends up in the country's river. River pollution control management depends on the interaction between river, environment, and human will. So the quality of the waters of Ganges reflects directly or indirectly the environmental management of towns and states. But the improvement of the Ganges cannot be achieved without people's participation and the agreement of both religious and political leaders. I read an article in the Rota in April 17. This article can be a source of hope. The quality restoration of the Ganges is a very complex and interdisciplinary effort. Ganges pollution requires strategies for pollution control. India's $3 billion plan to clean the holy Ganges River is badly behind schedule, with large stretches contaminated by toxic waste and sewage, forcing Prime Minister Narendra Modi to intervene, according to government officials. Despite the efforts to reduce pollution, Ganga remains many contaminated. But it stays, according to pious people, pure, even potent, and everyone wants to take baths in it, seeking purification. According to them, Ganga has a role of mediator between this world and the divine world. Thus, Ganga is the surest access between the world of the living and the one of the dead. Anyway, pious Hindus go to holy places along Ganga to cast the ashes of their ancestors. Thus, cremation on the bank of Ganga River is also one of the reasons of the river water pollution. Every day, around 150 cremations are performed, and there are also 1,000 people who cannot afford cremation and throw directly bodies into Ganga. This contributes to unburned corpses floating down to Ganga. Creation of electric crematorium is the only solution. Both central and state government should guide, aware, and convince people to use electric crematorium for the antim sanskara, last rites, instead of wood. I want to conclude on a positive note. In Indian Express, published in September 16, an article telling that Indian scientists have validated the scientific basis of the mysterious special power of the water of Ganga, which Hindus consider as Brahm Dravya or divine elixir. According to this microbiologist from Chandigarh in Punjab, Ganges waters contain several bacteriophages, types of virus that eat bacteria. So, the Ganges would have certain clinical properties? By this paper, I wanted to provide a clear understanding of attachment to the river places and elements and create a typology of attachment to different levels, from macro to micro, from divine and earthly. The river accumulation of mythological traditions demonstrates the persistence of natural geographical symbol in India. In the Mahabharata, it is written, just as certain parts of the body are called clean, so are certain parts of the earth and certain water called holy. Those certain parts of earth that give ready access to heaven are tirthas, the sacred places. Thank you very much. Dhanyavad.